Hi, Alan here from RVAcrossAmerica.net, and this post will be at RVAcrossAmerica.net/starvation, and that'll be obvious as to why in a moment. I want to bring you up to speed on a few things that I've been up to. Forgive me as I check over my notes because I've got a few things I want to share with you. The title of this post is Starvation and Coffee, and Starvation as in Starvation State Park in Utah. And by the way, I'm here at my winter home in Draper, and things are going pretty well in my first month here in Draper. Coffee as in a great coffee shop called Black Sheep Coffee Company in Duchesne, Utah, which is going to be the main focus of this video and the main focus of the post. But I got a few things I want to get to first before I share with you about Duchesne and about Starvation State Park. I've been here, as I mentioned, for about a month here in Draper now. The ski season has started. It got an incredibly early start at Solitude on November 11. On November 30, I was treated on my 6th day of skiing for the season to midwinter conditions. Skiing off-piste, skiing some black diamonds, stuff that I normally would never do in November. But having the opportunity to get out there several times, and since I'm skiing Solitude midweek, it truly is appropriately named. It really, just ski up, ski on, open trails, very few people, beautiful place. Nothing but good things to say. Even in town here, there have been 2 snowfalls. There's snow on the ground as we speak right now, although it's expected to warm up and melt within the next few hours. This is December 3rd as I'm recording this, and that's one of the things I kind of like about this area. Most of my winters, as I've mentioned, I've spent up at elevation, same elevation more or less as the ski area, and here you're at 4,500 feet, and the mountains are up at about 8,700 feet. So it's a totally different climate. I even came down from skiing one day last week and tried to go kayaking the next day, but there's a whole backstory behind that. So that's not what I'm going to get into right now. Let me do a quick health update. I've been promising you a big health post, and that's coming soon. I can tell you that I've now done 3 samples at Anytime Fitness of my body composition, and I can tell you that my subcutaneous fat is down 3.5 kilograms, which for all I know could be 400 pounds. No, it's really about 7 pounds, a little over 7. And my visceral fat is down 2 kilograms, again, about 4 pounds. And that's without trying to diet. That's just doing intermittent fasting, and it's just avoiding a lot of sugar. It's really amazing, and I'll tell you a lot more about that in an upcoming post. That's coming up soon. I have blood work I've scheduled for a few days from now. I'm going to get the blood work done, going to get the results, and I'll share everything with you and let you know what's working, what's not working, and who I'm listening to and where I'm getting this information from, because I am not a medical professional, so don't listen to me. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the RV industry. That I do have some familiarity with. I've sold a few campers in the last few weeks, and I've helped folks buy a few campers. We bought one that the dealer was asking $100,000 for, a Class A motorhome for $73,000. We got another Class A that was $92,000 on the book. We bought it for $66,000, and helped a young fella buy a Class B Winnebago Revel for well under book as well. So all of that is just great news for my sellers. We're selling under book. That's the only way to do it. But I've had a lot of success. November was stronger than I expected it to be. It was busier than I expected it to be. It was a mix of buyers and sellers. If you're interested in learning about my concierge RV service, you can go to RVAcrossAmerica.net/buy-sell, BUYSELL. I will issue a danger here and say be on the lookout for good deals that aren't. There are a lot of dealers getting stuck with inventory that they're trying to dump, and frankly, some of it's at pretty good prices, but a lot of these things aren't worth owning at any price. And that's where speaking with somebody like myself, who has your back and is your guide by your side, is going to give you fair and unbiased advice to let you know what the real score is. just helped one fella get a brand new camper. I'm not a big fan of brand new campers, but he liked the floor plan, wanted this particular model, and in a very frank discussion with the dealer, I was able to identify exactly how much they were making. We nailed the price down to a couple of grand less than what they really wanted to sell it for, and this was not an expensive camper to begin with, and he's getting a good deal. So anyway, Duchesne, Coffee, and Starvation. Starvation State Park is in the town of Duchesne, or just outside of the town of Duchesne, which is between here, Draper, the Salt Lake Valley, and Vernal. It's up in the Uintas, or on the foot of the Uintas, on the eastern side of the Uintas. Up at about 5,000 feet. Doesn't snow much there, but it gets windy most of the year, and it can get quite cold in the winter. It is an absolutely spectacular area. I was treated to off-season rates because they had turned off the electric and they had, the water, and they had closed the modern restrooms. So they knocked their prices down. I was pretty much the only camper in there for an entire week. I loved it. I got a beachfront site, actually got the kayak in the water several times, and still love my new kayak. I'll give you a link to that in the post so you can see what I'm talking about. And it was really just a very spectacular, relaxing week. And really, for me, the icing on the cake, because I make so many videos and I do so much on the computer, I can do it from the camper. I mean, I have my AT&T Moxie device where I've got a MiFi here, and I've also got my unlimited off of my cell phone for Verizon. But, it's nice to get into coffee shops, and I found a place called Black Sheep Coffee Company, Black Sheep Coffee Company, right down the street from Cowan's Restaurant. Cowan's is kind of like an iconic 1950s style restaurant with the outside neon sign. Really kind of cool. Right down the street is a place run by a woman named Sonora. I got to know her a little bit and her family, and they're good people. And it's a great gathering place for the town. And she has great coffee, and she has pastries and such, which I did not partake of. But and she'll tell you that I stayed honest to my regimen. Like I say, I'm still doing the intermittent fasting. It's now almost 10 o'clock in the morning as I'm recording this, so I'm approaching my 18th hour, which will be about noon, when I can actually have lunch. Anyway, that said, Black Sheep Coffee Company is a great place to hang out. She, I believe, has Wi-Fi there, and it's just a kind of a combination thrift store, bookstore, and coffee shop. Big open space, nice location, easy parking. There's also a barbecue place in town. They're not open off season. They apparently are open only in the summer, but I've been there before, and it's really good barbecue. Cowan's is, of course, safe for a diner. The only thing I'll warn you about in Duchesne is the grocery store. You go to my post, rvacrossamerica.net/starvation. That'll tell you a little more about that grocery store. Just stock up before you come to Starvation State Park. There is also a private campground just west of town, pretty cool place that does have access to the water. Not great access, but, okay access. The state park has a combination of modern campsites with electric and water during the in-season. In-season begins, I think, April 1 or April 15. I think it's April 1, and that's when the rates will go back up. They also have a reservation system then. I would rather just show up. So I love camping off season there. They also have 3 primitive camping areas, and I emphasize the word primitive. Make sure that if you decide to bring your camper out to the primitive camping areas, that you check things out before you go there, because you may not want to bring the camper where you need to go. So just word to the wise. Check it out in advance. Drop the camper if you have to somewhere in town, and there's a nice parking area, a park, waterfront area just about 4 blocks south of the main street, And I'm not endorsing that. I don't know if the town wants you to drop a camper there so you can go drive around the state park and check it out. But you might want to, or you might want to at least call the rangers and ask them, give me the skinny on the 3 primitive areas and, what's okay and what's not okay to bring in there, and which sites are easily accessible and which sites are not so easily accessible. Word to the wise. As far as the off-season rates, normally I think it was $28 or $30 a night. They brought it down to $18, I think it was, for the nights that I stayed there. And it stays that way, I believe, until March 31. So anyway, Alan here, rvacrossamerica.net/starvation. And check out the post. Give me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you. And again, if you're looking to buy a camper, or you got a camper you want to get rid of and want to get as much for it as you can, reach out to me. Let's talk. And if I can help you, I will. All right. Have a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, whenever it is you see this. And we'll be in touch soon with more.